Hi, I'm Reb Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. I'm going through the lessons this year, asking Jesus to clarify for me, as I've done in the past. And that I'm writing from that clarity, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. So we're looking at lesson 301. And earlier I did a recording, a video of what is the second coming, which is our new theme for these following 10 lessons. Okay, so you may want to go back and catch that, because Jesus asks us to look at that every day. All right, so lesson 301. And God himself shall wipe away all tears. Father, unless I judge, I cannot weep, nor can I suffer pain or feel I am abandoned or unneeded in the world. This is my home because I judge it not, and therefore is it only what you will. Let me today behold it uncondemned. Through happy eyes, forgiveness has released from all distortion. Let me see your world instead of mine, and all the tears I shed will be forgotten, for their source is gone. Father, I will not judge your world today. God's world is happy. Those who look on it can only add their joy to it and bless it as a cause of further joy in them. We wept because we did not understand, but we have learned the world we saw was false, and we look upon God's world today. Well, the message here is simple. We think we became our own God and made of ourselves something we are not. We made a world that we could call our own, and one that would allow us to seek the specialness we thought would make us happy. However, we were wrong about all of it, and now we suffer the guilt and fear that was caused by this choice. But all is not lost, as there is another world. This is a happy world that is God's replacement for the one that is the source of all pain. It is a world that will usher in complete reconciliation with God and bring us to oneness once more. Our judgment that specialness would be better than universal love is what set us on this ill-advised journey, but by contrasting into judgment shows us the happy world that is the second coming. The original judgment is symbolized in the world over and over, giving us the opportunity to witness how ineffective judgment is. In this way, we come to realize ourselves that we want to lay down judgment. In God's world, there is no judgment because there is nothing to judge, better or worse. Here, there is reflected only eternal, glorious reality. I will not waste these judgments when they occur. I will use them to choose again, this time for God and for his Son. Here's something that happened many years ago, and it was helpful to me. One morning I was reading Post Secret. This is a web page that posts people's secrets. I read one that caused a little ripple of unease in me, and I nearly didn't notice that unease because it was there and gone so quickly. But then I went back and read it again. Someone had sent in a postcard saying that his secret is he plays phone pranks on his own mom. I sat with it for a moment and realized there was a real fear in me trying to come up. I let it rise to the surface and imagined my sons doing this to me. I felt anger at this young man for what he did to his mom. That I should have such a visceral reaction to the secret helped me to see that I have unforgiven judgments that need healing. It seemed like a small thing. After all, I didn't even notice it at first. But it is these kinds of judgments that color my life and keep it dark and joyless. In truth, there are no small judgments, only judgments. If it seems small, it's only because I have been unwilling to acknowledge it and have pushed it quickly to the bottom of the heap where I don't have to see it. I felt very grateful that I did notice. I was grateful that I was willing to look at it with the Holy Spirit. He helped me to see how important this process is. I said, Holy Spirit, why did I have this uneasiness when I read that secret? I can't imagine one of my sons doing this to me. Well, obviously I can imagine it, but they never have. And the Holy Spirit said, think for a moment what quickly went through your mind before you withdrew your attention. Well, I thought how very unkind and unloving. I felt for just a microsecond that I wanted to cry. It was as if it had happened to me and that it meant my sons do not love me. Writing those words makes me want to cry right now. And the Holy Spirit said, this is a fear of not being loved, expressing itself through your tears. Holy Spirit, it's very hard for me to hear you because I don't want to look at this. And he answered me, dear one, do you see that your sons have nothing to do with this? They've not expressed a lack of love, but you have judged yourself unworthy of love. This is your judgment of yourself, projected onto your sons. All love comes from your Father. Sometimes you see it as though it is coming from someone else, but it's only passing through the image of that person so that you can accept it. All lack of love comes from your judgment that you are not worthy. That thought blocks love from your awareness. If you understood your innate worthiness and completely accepted it, then you really would not be able to imagine your sons or anyone else not loving you. Do you see that all feelings of lack are the result of self-judgment? God showers you, his beloved, with love all the time. You hold up the umbrella of unworthiness so that very little touches you. Then you fret because this one or that one does not love you. Only you judge yourself as unworthy, and only you create a world devoid of love. When you see yourself as unloved, even in what you would call a small way, or by someone who you do not think of as important, you have seen yourself as unloved and unlovable. Lack is not discrete, and you cannot hold it true in one area of your life and not another. The judgment of lack will indeed color all of your life, and those areas where you think of yourself as loved will become strained as you try to convince yourself that you have what you have denied. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for helping me to understand this. I'm willing to see this differently. I'm willing to know that I am completely loved and to see this love reflected in all areas of my life. So thank you so much for being here and sharing this lesson with me this morning. If you found it helpful, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with another lesson.